Welcome back to the channel, and today we're going to get the King's throne room finished up on the hill here. Let's get building. Gaming for XP, welcome back to the channel, and as you know, in episode 1, or the first part of this build, we got a fair bit done as far as the structure now. I'm just going to tidy things up, change the look a little bit by using these circular walls, and then we'll do a little bit inside in the final tour today. So these circular walls, you can find them either in Snappy House Kits or in Atom's Greatness, either or, and they really do, they just snap straight into place. And I thought it just made a little bit of a different look to the overall structure and the outside, and so hence why I'm using them. They are a little bit fiddly as far as getting them the right placement, and so it takes me a while to get them in, but I'm going to do it all the way up, so on the tiers here, and you can see straight away it makes a huge difference to the overall look. So just pop them in. They should snap into place. If they don't, you just need to persuade them a little bit. So you can see it straight away, it makes quite a difference. Just drop them in and then line them up just like this. Pretty simple stuff. So I found these pillars that you can use, so just drop them straight in there if you use the right ones. And yeah, it's pretty easy. They line up pretty nicely. So this is all sped up because it's all kind of rinse and repeat stuff. So yep, there you go, just drop that in. And one of the big issues that I had was finding floors for this, because there's that semicircle piece there. It's a little bit difficult, but I finally found some floors, and you'll see fairly shortly the ones that I use. Just lining this up and just getting it a little bit more precise. It doesn't take too long. I've cut a fair bit of this for the other. I thought just do the bottom one so you can see how it looks, and I had to get it all lined up properly. And then these little these other pieces are good, these little pillars, because it just kind of fills in that gap. I like the concrete does. It's pretty good. So as I was looking around, I actually found this railing system in Atom's Greatness, so it's perfect for this piece up here. Just to kind of switch it up a bit and just give it a little bit of a different look and define the top of the stairs here. These rails are a little bit tricky with their snapping, so you just got to make sure they're in properly, and make sure you don't fall into big caverns like I just done there. You see that's sitting out a little bit. You just push it back, it should snap into place fairly okay. Here we go, just bring them down. There we go, all good. This one's fighting me a little bit. Couldn't get one on the side here, but I'll got to persuade that into place a little bit later. There we go. All good. Let's run back and have a look and see how that looks. Yeah, that's good. That's excellent. As I said earlier, and maybe I missed something, but I can't quite figure out why they would give us these circular pieces and they wouldn't give us floors for them. I guess you're supposed to put some kind of tower or something on them, but anyway, I was lucky enough because I've got Snappy House Kits. I found these pieces, and I know they're not ideal. They stick out a little bit as far as the overall look, and I could go through and change all this floor, but for the purpose of this building speed, I'm not going to do that. But I guess if you're building, you could change the floor so it's all uniform. I do in the second half here. For some reason though, the snapping in the bottom area here, obviously it's interfering with the overlapping or something. I haven't got that quite into place, but anyway, the second part's somehow. So what I do is I snap this piece in here like that, and then just bring this forward, and they should snap onto each other. They There you go. It's thinking about it now. There we go. So it just took a bit of persuading. There we go. So it takes a little bit of persuading to get it in, but it will fit. There is a gap there, but I do cover that up a little bit later. And the final thing that you can do with these, so just to switch it up a little bit more again, and just give it a bit more definition, is just put these wall cappings on. Again, just make sure you've got them in the right position. So it does take a little bit of mucking around, but you will get them. They're not too hard to work with, and they should snap together reasonably okay. So the thing that I do is get these into position, and then manipulate them from there so that they all line up. So I just drop them in first, and they're pretty good. They're pretty good at you see that one just snapped there. They're pretty good at glitching into other materials, which is good. So you can move them up and down like that without too much of a drama. So there you go. There's the wall cappings. It just makes a huge difference to the overall look, I think. Okay, so now we go inside, and we'll start some work inside. So I had a vision for the inside. So I wanted to put a upper floor, an upper balcony, I guess. So you can see this back wall. I've now moved those windows out, and it takes me a while to get this first piece in, but the first piece is extremely important to get in, because once you get the first piece in, everything should flow from there. And it does take me a while just to figure out what the best piece to put in here is, and the best stairs and stuff, which I could have cut out completely from this build, but as I've been used to doing, I like to leave some of these kind of things in, because it shows you a little bit of the struggle that you might face in getting this right. And I think it's important, as far as you being builders and watching the builds, that it's not always perfect, that you can see that things are not going to always line up or going to work out, and the choices I make and how I get around it, I think, is important for you. That's the reason I kind of do a lot of these videos, is to show you some of the pitfalls or some of the difficult areas, and how I get around them, how I solve them, so that you don't have to, or at least it gives you a head start on solving some of these issues. So those stairs are in for now. I don't end up leaving them in there, and I think I end up moving this window as well, because those wood pieces glitch through, as you can see. So one of my solutions is just to keep pushing that floor there back a little bit, and then lining this up here. So it needs to go back a little bit further, and I'm using place anywhere, obviously, to just put that into place. You could use the pillar or whatever here without a drama. So I've taken this out because one of the things that I want to do, and one of the key things is I wasn't sure what the height was like. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to try and get that height spot on for these stairs, because these are the stairs I end up using. And my original idea was to have a double stairway and then have a single one going up the other way. You can see these will snap. These also snap in a weird way, so at least I've got the height right now. I know this is the right height, so I can push it this way. And then I realise, yeah, I need to get rid of that. Just move that one across there. There you go. And these are pretty good. These snap in pretty nicely. And I do move these windows. Let's see, there's two beside each other. I do end up moving those, but for now, obviously you're in building mode. You can do that a little bit later. It's not overly important at this point. So those stairs, yeah, they've got a weird snapping. I'd have liked them to snap flush into the wall here, but they don't. But that's okay. Sometimes you've just got to concede defeat on things that, So I'd like them to snap there. They don't snap there, but that's okay. I can live with that. I can work around that. Sometimes it's not worth spending an hour trying to glitch the stairs in the right place. I mean, if you want to, you can do that, but again, it's for the overall look, it's not totally necessary. At least I don't like so. So I'm just looking for somewhere to put this down so I can re-grab it and push it into place. So in the end, what you didn't see is all the different floors and stair combinations that I went through to finally get to this point. Yeah, it's quite considerable. I've cut out a lot of that, but that's okay. And you can see again, that was a weird angle. It's a thing with Fallout, sometimes the angle just is a bit strange. You think you've got it close and then you go and look at it and it's nowhere near, which happened to that floor. But there we go, we've got it in. It's good enough. And we can start to put the... See, I'm still obsessed by getting... I sort of wanted to snap then, but it's sort of there. There we go, that's closer, that's much better. Okay. So we're getting somewhere. So what you do now is just put the next set of stairs in, and then we can build off of that. Now, for some reason, I don't understand why, because why this? No, see, the idea was to have two single stairs and a double stair going up. That didn't quite work for me. So we'll go back to the single stairs in a minute. So what I was going to say is I'm not sure. This building is like 2 blocks wide, so 2 foundation blocks, and for some reason the upper floors fight me, and they really shouldn't. It should be a case of being able to snap them in pretty simply as far as the size of those. But they do fight me somewhat. So again, selection of the floor, I spend a lot of time trying to figure out the right floor to use here. You can see there's a bit of a gap there, and this shouldn't be. So I'm not flush to the wall there, and it's obviously the placement of those stairs there. And again, yeah. So I need to push that across a little bit towards the door there. So it's, again, as I've said numerous times before, make sure that if you're doing an element of building, or you know, a foundation for something, get the first piece correct. If you get the first piece correct, everything should work from there, and everything should snap from there. So that's nice and flush now. Now, of course, I think that's okay. So that's working okay. Again, it does fight me, the floor up here. There is a bit of a gap there, so obviously something's not quite right. And I will play with this quite a bit to get it right. So as I do, I think I'll give you some fiddling around music so that you can watch this at your leisure. Once we get the floor done, we'll get the tour right at the end. And it ends up looking much better than I even anticipated. So enjoy some music, and we'll be back in a minute. finished abruptly. As you can see, I really have been. This floor really did fight me, and you can see I've tried a couple of techniques, and I left it in. I could have cut all this out, but I left it in so you can see it, and how I end up actually solving this, because I think it's pretty important that you do see that kind of stuff. I think you see a lot of videos on YouTube where the builds are flawless and you cut out all these bits, and yeah, I don't, you get more to learn at least how to build by seeing this kind of stuff. So what I've done here is I'm just getting a little bit closer, then there we go, and so eventually it all snaps in and we get it perfect. So tour's coming up in a second. I did try and lighten this footage up because we're inside, it's a bit dark. So here we are, very strange, mysterious kind of glow around the house today, and I thought I'd just leave this in. I could have done, I will show you how it looks in the bright sunlight right at the end of the tour if you're interested, but you can see I've added a few elements, and since I finished this build I've actually added a couple more elements, but you can't really see much with the god rays. But I did these little flaming pillars in from Mechanist's layer mod section, the mod in SOE. So come inside and have a look at the banquet hall throne room. See, I've put a whole lot of pillars in and really just tidied up a couple of tables in the throne room right at the end there. So there's lots of little details just to drink in here. And it's very Raider-esque, I think, in essence, but this seat is from Creative Clutter, and then I've added a few elements to it from the Raiders pack, just to move it up a fraction or up a level. And it just looks so much better than I thought it would. Lots and lots of little elements that you can pick out here. So upstairs I've enclosed the wall there a little bit. Close that door for a sec. Just to give you, just to define it a little bit more, and we'll just hop upstairs. So put the railing in round the side. That pillar I probably will take out because it kind of blocks the view a little bit, but I have hidden some light in that pillar. I glitched them in so you can't actually see them, but it does light that throne up nicely. I need to put some carpings on the wall there, as it looks like there's a little bit of a gap, but that's alright, just little minor alterations. So you can really get the feel of people that would come in here and eat and drink and be merry. So here's the king or the leader's little bedroom. You can see I've made a little fireplace. It's a nice little player home, this one. I like this a lot. Just pan round so you can get a nice look at this. Creative Clutter, and also Aetheron's Port Royal mod that I've just started playing with for the paintings. And we have a special little cellar here, which I didn't show me doing. I wanted to keep this as a surprise. You can see the roof. I haven't quite got the roof 100%, but we will fix that. Here we go. We've got a little bit of a cellar where he keeps his beer barrels and his wine collection. There you go. So a good little build. Thank you for the support. I hope you've enjoyed this build. I hope it kind of inspires you to do something similar, and we will catch you next time.